Hello and welcome back to Two Movie Guys and a Girl. Again, I'm on holiday still, so the sound might be a bit off. I can't really do anything about that, I'm really sorry. But yes, the waves, the cricket's very windy. That was my notes. But I'm here today to talk to you about the best movies of 2015 so far. First, before I go into my main list, I'll go through my honourable mentions to give you an idea of what I haven't put on the list but that nearly made it. The one that probably would have been most likely number 6, It Follows, a great horror film. Ant-Man, Top 5, Spy, Ex Machina, Avengers was good fun, Furious 7 was a lot of fun, and I even enjoyed the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water. Because I've been on holiday, I have missed Inside Out, because that opened much later in the UK, so that's something to be taken into consideration, because that's probably going to be in my top 5, I'm hoping. So, take that into account. So starting with number 5, Slow West, starring Cody Smith McPhee and Michael Fassbender. Who would have thought I'd have a western on my list? Last western that I remember is The Lone Ranger, which is a terrible injustice to western. It's a gorgeous bit of filmmaking, a little bit slow at the very beginning, but as it continues into the second act, it is almost perfect. It is beautiful to watch, especially in the third act set piece. The last set piece in the film is just beautiful, kind of a crossover between Wes Anderson and Tarantino, and it works really well. Cody Smith McPhee's brilliant in it, Michael Fassbender's really good in it as well, and also it's funny. I didn't expect it to be as funny as it was, but it's more of a western for the modern era. Really well done, I really recommend you go see it. At number 4 is The Voices, starring Ryan Reynolds, Anna Kendrick and Gemma Arterton, the main three, and it's about a serial killer who hears voices in his head from his pets that tell him to kill people. And I love this film so much. It is so weird, messed up, funny. It goes from a thriller, suspenseful killing to a musical number. That's the kind of thing you're going to be getting from this film. A lot of people haven't liked it. I think it's been a bit jarring and polarising for a lot of people. The tone shifts quite a lot, but I enjoyed that. I love the visual aesthetic of this film. Colourful, yes, at the same time the film's so messed up. It's brilliant. I saw it with Dom. He did not like it, he actually got a bit freaked out by it. What can you do? But I love this film, it's disturbing, at times silly, but it's brilliantly silly, and Ryan Reynolds is really good in it as well. Then at number 3, a film that a lot of you most likely have seen is Kingsman: The Secret Service. Great fun. Matthew Vaughn and Jane Goldman, again the duo after X-Men First Class and Kick-Ass. Well, I was worried when it got pushed from a November release date to February, and it is a hell of a lot of fun. Colin Firth is an action star, no one saw that coming, and it really works. The church scene, the head exploding scene without spoiling anything, and it remains the most fun I've had at the cinema this year. So at number 2 is Amy, directed by Asif Kapadia. A great documentary. It's a haunting documentary, but also a heartfelt look at her music. Very melancholic portrait of this damaged girl, essentially, who had a drug addiction and the impact that that had, but also it's about what it means to be a star and the ramifications that can be, especially if you never had an interest in being a star and then being forced into something that they don't want to be but are still under contract. Yes, it has had a lot of controversy about how true it is to the fact, but the film portrays what it says, and I believe a lot of what it says, so watch it for yourself and find out. I really recommend it. It's a hard watch, but it's a really important one, especially just to celebrate her music, because you forget how good the music was. That's the top 4. There's only one film that could really be number 1. It's Mad Max Fury Road, a virtually perfect action movie directed by George Miller at 71 years of age. It's been 10 years in development, practical stuff that is done, feels so physical and raw. Some of the most breathtaking action set pieces you'll see ever, but also I do believe that this includes some of the best cinematography I've probably seen in over a decade. Now, it should be taken into consideration. A decade ago, I was quite young. But let's just say in the last few years. But it is gorgeous filmmaking, non-stop action, and it's a simple story, and it really shows that simplicity is key sometimes, and you don't need to overcomplicate things. As long as you make the style and visual aesthetic and the characters good enough, you can just have a story where they literally drive one way and drive back again, and it'll be absolutely amazing. And it did well at the box office, and that makes me so happy, because this film was such a risk. I mean, you've got a guy on a guitar with fire coming out of it. It's never explained. It just is cool, and that's all that matters. It has all the elements of a great action movie and all other movies. It's why you want to go to the movies. It's one of the best cinema experiences I've had, and on top of that, I think it is probably one of the best action movies we have ever had also. So going through the list, at number 5, Slow West. At number 4, The Voices. At number 3, Kingsman: The Secret Service. Number 2, Amy, and at number 1, Mad Max Fury Road. Let's see what comes in the next part of the year, including Inside Out. I think that might jump in at number 5 spot, or maybe higher, who knows, I hope it does. Now, it should also be known, I haven't included a lot of the Oscar movies that came out in January, because I always seem to include them in 2014, because that's when they were intended to be. Otherwise it just ruins it, and it just feels like we're going backwards instead of forwards, and I know that's bad and stuff. Like Birdman, I loved, it's my favourite film of last year, I say, even though here it came out on January 2nd. So take that into consideration. But tell me what your best films of the year are so far. Is there any that I've missed out that you think I should watch? I probably have missed something. Do you disagree with my list? Are there some films on here that you absolutely hate? Comment below. That is it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.